If you're just getting started, you probably don't have too many people asking to hire you to create them geofilters. So you may be wondering, how do you find clients for geofilters? Now, the key to starting off client work is that you don't want to try to find and chase clients and then ask them to work with you. Instead, you want to first attract them to you and then have them ask you to do work for them. Now, the reason why this is so important is because when you try to find and chase clients and then ask them to work with you, you are starting off the relationship on the wrong foot. When you chase clients, you're essentially asking that person the favor of giving you money and doing work with you. Now, there's the concept of the rule of reciprocation that Dr. Robert Cialdini wrote about in his book Influence, and it talks about the social dynamics of what happens when someone gives you a favor. Now, when someone gives you a gift, they may not necessarily expect anything back, but you may feel compelled to give back in an equal or greater amount than what you received. So when someone gives you the favor of being your client, it's now on you to return that favor to them some way. Now, this favor can be returned in several different ways, and to name a few, it could be your prices, your turnaround time, your creative process, or your terms and conditions. And it could be a combination of several different things, but the key is that you now owe whatever the client asks for because they have given you the favor of being your client. And this can be very problematic when you are forced to submit to a client's process that is very time intensive, as well as budgets that are very limited. This often leads to projects that aren't viable, to where you are either breaking even or losing money on the project. Now, on the other hand, when you attract clients to you and they ask you first, they're asking you the favor of helping them solve their problem. In this situation, the exchange is a little bit more balanced. You are able to help them solve their issue that they came to you for, and in return, they are going to be willing to follow your process and your payment. And this is much better of a situation when compared to chasing clients, when in that situation, you weren't able to set much of anything and had a sense of indebtedness to the client throughout the whole process. Projects where you're able to control the creative process as well as set the terms are generally going to be projects that are going to turn out better and that you can actually use in your portfolio. And that leads me to the first way you can attract clients to you, and that is through having a portfolio website where you display all your work. And your portfolio site is a way to show off all your past work and give potential clients an idea of what they can come to expect. Another thing you can do on your portfolio site is to create case studies. And essentially what those are taking a portfolio piece and then turning that into a post where you start to write about the backstory, and then you can include certain work in progress shots and also explain your design decisions. And these case studies don't have to necessarily be of paid work. They can just be of geofilters that you've created before and just want to explain that process, and it will still help potential clients understand your design thinking and have more confidence in hiring you. Another way to attract clients to you is just to simply tell everyone what you do. You can simply mention it to friends and family when you're having a conversation. Just don't do it with the intention to ask for them to work with you, and don't expect anything in return either. Also, a great way to share what you do is to share it online and on social media so that your friends and followers can know what you do. And this leads me to the last main piece of advice that you can use to attract clients to you, which is to create great content. And what this means is to create pieces of content that potential clients can get value out of, even if they don't hire you. For example, that may be a blog post or a video that shows them how to create their own geofilter. The content will then attract people who are looking for help on their geofilter, and it will instill trust because you're providing value to them. After you provided value in your content and they have a level of trust with you, if they decide they don't want to do the work themselves and they want to hire someone to do it, they're going to think of you first because you have provided value to them in your content. The great thing about creating content is that you can then share it on social media as well to share with your friends and followers. So now that you know how to attract clients to you, in the next lesson, I'm going to show you how you can get the correct information from your client before you begin so the project can begin smoothly.